Alright, yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy SquadDen here, back with a brand new banger on the channel, guys. Today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how to improve your aim inside of Energy Assault. So go ahead, drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. You know, we're trying to hit 15k subscribers, and your boy would really appreciate it. So as before, going to be teaching you guys how to improve your aim inside of Energy Assault. Now, I promise you guys, you will see results if you guys follow every single step and instruction that I give you guys on this video. And I promise you guys, you will look back at this and be like, bro, SquadDen really helped me out. So anyway, guys, no more talking, let's get straight into it. Alright, guys, now the number one tip to improving your aim inside of Energy Assault is to obviously change your sensitivity. Now, a lot of you may be wondering what I mean by changing your sensitivity. If you guys do not know, basically there is a sensitivity inside of Energy Assault in-game settings, and you can change your Roblox player settings for your sensitivity. Then when you guys do press the escape button on your keyboard, you guys will see that it says camera sensitivity, and basically you can change that around. And the number one thing that I see that basically messes up people's aim inside of, Energy Assault is that their sensitivity is way too high. Like, a lot of people don't realize this, but if your sensitivity is too high, it's going to be hard for you to actually hit your shots. Like, that's a really important, part of playing the game. Like, you have to make sure your sensitivity is, not too slow but not too fast for you. So if you guys have a really fast sense, I would slow it down. For instance, if you play on anything like around 1, that's too much. I play on 0.34 or somewhere around it. I think like 0.34 to like 0.36, and in game I don't touch that at all. I keep that at 1, so I have a relatively decent to low sensitivity. Once again, the lower the sensitivity, the better it is. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't want a super low sensitivity to where you can't switch targets fast enough and whatnot, but you want something that's slower, because the slower it is, the more reliable your aim will be, because it's not too fast and it's more accurate, if that makes sense. So if you have a fast sensitivity, slow it down, and that's just number one for the tips, and that will definitely help you. You won't see steps, maybe you may not see an improvement right away, but you will see it in a pretty fast amount of time. Now, the next tip, guys, for you guys to improve your aim inside of Energy Assault is to actually learn how to use your weapon. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize, but when you do play with a certain weapon, there's going to be different ways of how to aim. Once again, if you guys did not notice, what the weapons I use, I tend to have weapons that have really low recoil. Basically, recoil is where your weapon basically moves up and down or moves to the side. That's where recoil is. It basically makes it hard for you to control your weapon depending on how hard the recoil is. If you have relatively low to basically non-existent recoil, you will see that it's pretty much more of raw aim, and you don't really have the crosshair moving as much, or like the scope that much. Since this is like FPS shooter game, you guys will see that it does move up and down since you're in first person the entire time. So you will notice it in the gameplay. I'm actually showing you guys. You can see the recoil is not really that high for the weapon I'm using, so it's a little bit easier to control. But if you guys do have a weapon that has really high recoil, you will have to tend to aim down sights a lot more. And basically what that means is you aim lower than what the target really is, because when you do aim down, it's gonna basically kick the gun up. So that's basically how you control the recoil, and that's how you improve your aim with certain weapons. So if you're using SMG, I do believe they tend to have like a little bit more recoil, but it all depends on what range you're from as well. Like, when you are from a close range, you really don't want to have to aim up that much. You really want to aim normally, but if you're aiming from a distance, you want to kind of aim down sights, if that makes sense, or kind of just aim for the head. But you guys pretty much get what I'm pretty much saying, I believe. But yeah, make sure you're using or learning how to use your weapon correctly. If you're a sniper, you will notice that there kind of is bullet drop off sometimes, or that it does take a certain amount of time for it to register. So you just have to learn how to use your weapon, and that's just normal for any weapon in any type of game. Alright, guys, so the next way to improve your aim inside of Energy Assault is basically knowing when to ADS and when not to. If you guys will not know what ADSing is, it's basically where you use the scope on your weapon. So basically, for instance, a lot of people, they like to do is they like to rely on strictly the scope or the ADS inside of the game, which is bad to do. You only really want to rely on the ADS if it's from a distance. If they're really close to you, it's really bad for you to ADS, because obviously it's going to be a little bit harder to aim, which is going to basically mess up your point of view. If you are that close and you're using your scope, you always want to make sure that when you are that close to that, you're hip firing. Basically, hip firing is where you don't ADS, and it's just basically where you just spray at them, but make sure they're inside of the range. So it's basically like where you see me shooting without being scoped in. That's what basically hip firing is, and that's one of the best ways to kill someone if they're really close range to you, because it just kills them a lot faster, in my opinion, and it just is a lot easier to aim. A lot of people don't realize that that is a really easy way to kill people and to improve your aim. It doesn't really improve it, but it just is going to overall, you know, reflect that you have better aim than you did before, because obviously it's a lot easier to aim close range without ADSing than it is to ADS. So that's one thing a lot of people don't realize. It's a simple, you know, skill that a lot of people don't have, but that people should have, and it's really important to your gameplay and your aim. Alright guys, now this next tip to actually improve your aim inside of Energy Assault is not 100% proven, but it does work for me, and that is changing your FOV. Now I know that the default FOV I believe is on Energy Assault is around like 100, and I play on 90, but for some reason when I play on higher FOVs I can see a lot more, don't get me wrong, but for some reason I feel like I just can't aim as well. Like I just noticed that in every single game, not only, you know, Energy Assault, but also in games like, you know, Arsenal, Phantom Forces. Like for some reason just having a higher FOV just makes it harder for me to aim. I don't know if it's because the FPS drops from you getting a higher FOV or what, because it's not a substantial or, you know, substantial amount of, you know, FPS is being dropped for me hiring my FPS. So I'm not sure if that's why. It definitely does have something to do with the FOV for me personally. Not gonna say 100% it does for everyone else, but if you guys want to, you can go ahead and test it out. Alright guys, now the last method I'm going to be telling you guys about how to improve your aim inside of Energy Assault is kind of like a common sense one. It's kind of two of them, but at the same time I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys those last two methods. Basically I'll say instead is basically to aim train and actually put more effort towards the game. Now a lot of people that claim that, you know, they have really bad aim or that everyone wants to try hard are usually people who do not put time and effort towards, you know, performing a lot better or to even play the game. If you guys notice, you will gradually get better at the game the more and more you play. That's just for anything in general. The more and more you practice, you're going to get better whether you realize it or not. It's not just for this game, it's for every single game and everything inside of life. The more and more you practice something, the more easier it will be to actually get it done, and it will gradually speed up. That's just the process of everything inside of life, and that's just one of the things you have to realize. You have to put the time and effort towards getting better with your aim and just overall as a player. But if you guys do not know the aim practicing like games you guys can actually do, one of them is called Aim Starts. It's actually like I believe like 25 Robux on, you know, Roblox, and it's a really good, you know, FPS aim practicing game. And it doesn't have to be for only, you know, an FPS game. It could be for, like, you know, for instance, it could be for SquadDen, and it's not only for, you know, once again Energy Assault, it's for stuff like Energy Assault, Arsenal, Phantom Forces, SquadDen. It's all types of stuff, but you guys do have to realize what sensitivity is, and you have to convert it from, you know, Energy Assault to Aim Stars to actually get the best performance out of it, because if you're practicing the wrong sensitivity, you're not going to get any better. So that's one thing, and it really once again all comes down to, are you willing to sacrifice the time and effort to get better at the game? It's not hard. Once again, anyone can get better at the game, but not everyone can, you know, be one of the best players, and the best players tend to be the people who have put more effort. You'll never see someone who's really good at the game that has put no effort towards becoming better. Once again, people think that I'm good at the game because I've been playing it forever, but that's not really why. It's because I've played other games that are, you know, shooter games, not only FPS games. I'm not really too familiar with FPS games. I'm just now getting into them because of, you know, Energy Assault, but I mostly played third-person shooter games, you know, as I became up inside the competitive community for games on Roblox. But if you guys did enjoy this video and you did find something useful, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. This does take time out of my day. But anyway guys, it's your boy SquadDen, and I'm out.